Ladies and gentlemen, you're now tuned into the Love Power Show with your one and only host, Miss Mimi.
Good y'all, she look good.
Now let's get it in, y'all. Come on.
Hey, it's your girl, Miss Mimi, aka Mimi the Great. Welcome to the Love Power Radio Show. It is Saturday. We are in the second Saturday of October 2022. It is the month of cancer awareness, breast cancer awareness, as well as domestic violence awareness. And so y'all already know, I want to know, it's the end of the week. I need to know how y'all doing. How was your week? How's everything going? How's your Saturday? What y'all got planned? Anybody cooking so we can come through? I'm just saying, I'll bring the ice, right? So make sure you tune in, chime in. Today, I have the cast of Gospel Golden Girls and the Men They Hurt. It's a play that I have had the pleasure of being a part of, the stage manager, as well as one of the cast. But today, I have the cast. We're going to be talking about men in and domestic violence. And not to give away the play, but, you know, it is an ode to that. So without further ado, I'm bringing in some of my cast members. First up, I don't know who I want to bring on first. Let's see. First up, I want to bring Miss Kelly Green. Hey, girl. I can't hear you. Hey, girl. Hey. Kelly, you're in. How are you? No? Still can't? Okay. I'll bring you back. So, let's see. We're going to bring up one of the sisters, Ty Rogers. Hey, Ty.
Hey.
Hey. Okay. Yes, indeed. And then next up, I'm going to bring Mr. Bryce Ivan.
Yo, what's going
That's
on?
the whole government, in case you didn't know.
You feel me?
And then next up, Empress V. Take yourself off mute, Miss Ma'am. You are in the show. How are you doing, Miss Empress? I tell you when people ain't ready.
Listen. It happen all the time.
It does. So we can't get started until they're ready. Anyway, so Ty, tell us a little bit about yourself and the part that you play in the play. Ty.
You got to get that up first.
Tell us the part that you play in the play.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I play Gina. She is the iron fist of the family. Literally.
True. Literally, she is. And tell us a little bit about yourself. Who are you? Who is Ty Rogers?
Yes, I am originally from Brooklyn, New York, by way of Trinidad and Tobago. I moved to Texas when I was a teenager. I embarked on performing arts, middle school all the way through high school. But when I got here, it was like, I don't know, like a light bulb went off, and it was like, oh my God, I love doing this. This is an amazing thing. I want to do it. So I did it all through high school and outside of high school, in college, outside of college, and here I am, still doing it.
Nice, still doing it. What else do you do? Because I think you do a few things, don't you?
I do. I am a licensed realtor. I'm also a personal trainer.
Okay.
And I don't want to say was an athlete because I'm still very active. I'm an avid athlete. Like, this is what I do. I love it.
And didn't or don't you model?
Oh, I do. Since 13 years old.
Can't leave out the things that you do, man. I'm trying to get you.
Listen, a jack of all trades.
Listen, a Jackie of all trades, okay?
Jackie of all trades.
And let me tell you, if you guys haven't had the opportunity to see her on stage, you are missing a treat. Technical difficulties. This? Oh, okay. Ah, better. Okay. My producer in the background, D Rose in the house. Thank you, sir. Okay. And we have, but everybody can hear me because I got one person that can't hear me. I got to try to figure out what's going on with her. But like I said, if you guys haven't had a chance to see Ty on stage, you are truly missing a treat. I get enveloped every time she does any of her lines because it's like, wow, when I grew up, I want to be like that. Truly. Bryce, tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages.
No.
Look, and that intro gonna take them to 5:30. But no,
we ain't in church.
Listen. But no, for those who don't know me, my name is Bryce Ivan. Born and raised in Houston, Screwston, Texas, Third Ward, Texas, South Side. I've been acting as long as I can remember. I think the earliest memory of me acting on stage is at church at the age of 4 years old and having like one of the best parts. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna run with this. I've been watching my mom on stage. My mama, she's an actress. She's been, the role model for me as far as like a celebrity, knowing a personal celebrity or a superstar. So that's been my motivation and stuff like that. Nice. In this play, though, in Gospel Golden Girls and the Men They Heard, I have been blessed to have the privilege of being the assistant director as well as playing the role of Jonathan. Mm-hmm. Jonathan doesn't have a last name, but we just gonna roll with it though.
Okay, Jonathan JoJo.
You feel me? But definitely like I'm so excited. This cast is amazing. I mean, everybody brings it's like a pot of gumbo. Everybody brings something different to the table that when we're all together, it's like it's magic on the stage. So yeah, I'm super excited and super, super grateful to be a part.
Awesome. Good deal. Let me see if I can bring Empress V. Empress, I hope you ready. Empress V, are you ready? She chilling over there. Empress V, you are on. Thank you, ma'am. Tell us a little bit about yourself and who you is.
Hi, Mimi. I can see you and I see your lips moving, but I can't hear anything you're saying.
I don't know why you can't hear, and nor can Kelly, but...
It looks like you're asking me to possibly introduce myself, so I can do that. That's not a problem. My name is Erica J. White. Model name is Empress V. I started off acting actually before I started modeling, so I do both. I've been doing both for about the last 4 to 5 years. And in this play, my character's name is Faith, and I'm a gangster cousin, and I do what gangster cousins do. You know what I'm saying? And I just rock out the way I am. See this lovely vitiligo that's on display today? The alopecia I got going on. I just rock my whole entire being from head to toe. And I would love for you guys to come out, go to Eventbrite, get your tickets, and come to the show October 21st to the 23rd.
That is it. And so one thing that I want to talk about though is how everybody in the show or in this production
still can't hear you, Mimi. If you're talking to me, I still can't hear you.
Still has been affected by domestic violence of some sort. Bryce, you want to talk a little bit about that? Have you experienced it? Do you know somebody? Have you worked with? I personally have worked with people, survivors of domestic violence, sexual assault, and child abuse. I am a verbal abuse survivor, so that's my spiel. What about you?
Yes, I have dealt with it. I feel like that's everybody's testimony who's in this production is that we've all went through some sort, if not firsthand, we've seen, it happen verbally, mentally, emotionally, even spiritually. You know what I mean? Abuse doesn't just have one label. I dealt with a lot of verbal and a lot of mental abuse as a child growing up. As a man wanting to be an actor, wanting to be a celebrity, and you know what I mean? It's not the manly thing to do. Most people are labor or hard working or something like that. So of course, as a child, and as a boy, you made fun of because I want to be on stage. Oh, what you want to do, ballet or something like that? You know what I mean? So
Right, right.
it starts off little like that, and then growing up in a household where my father wasn't at that point wasn't really keen up on everything that comes along with being an actor or a model. You know what I mean? Like, it's certain stuff that you got to do, it's certain stuff you got to wear, and you know what I mean, you're portraying a character and then you're trying to express yourself at the same time. So definitely dealing with that. Currently still battling with that in some environments that I'm in. You know what I mean? Most people don't understand what I do and how I do certain stuff and everything like that. So yeah, it could come off as abuse there. I've watched with my friends, I've watched so much physical abuse, you know what I mean? And in this day and age, I think we talked about it a little the last time we were in person, is that my generation changed the word from abuse or mental or physical to the word toxic. So everybody deals with a toxic relationship, or oh, you toxic, or oh, y'all toxic, but you don't understand the depth of that word until you go behind closed doors and see what people actually go through. So I feel like that's a little bit of everybody's testimony, a little bit of everybody's personal life, but we don't know what it is until it's shown in front of us. As far as like acting it out or demonstration. So I think this play is gonna really knock down some barriers and shut down some walls and let people know the true, how to really go through certain things like that.
Okay, nice. Ty, what about you? Do you know somebody, or have you ever experienced?
Yes, I grew up experiencing domestic violence. My mom is a domestic violence survivor.
Nice.
And it was, I think watching her go through that made me stronger of the woman I am today, because
Awesome.
I refused to allow that to happen to me. And I've had someone try, and they suffered the consequences for it. And so, yeah, that part.
Gina in rare form.
Listen, y'all better know it. But you got to come to the play to understand what we talking about. Because I'm telling you, both of these people truly bring their characters to life. And although I haven't seen you in another production, I almost said Gina, Ty, I've heard that you are as talented as Bryce when it comes to being able to truly color your characters and bring them to life. I don't know about anybody else, but I know I'm grateful because I love it. So we're going to bring in also Miss Kelly. Hey, Kelly, can you hear me now? I can hear you now. Can you hear me?
I play Sage in the Gospel Girls play. And of course, you know me, I'm the little bougie one of the family, I guess. Yes. I think when Jennifer picked me for this part, it was truly me. When she told me all I had to do was be myself, I was like, oh, I got that. And my character, she loves to be cute, dainty. She was the fashion nova of the family, I guess. And then she just kind of fell in love with a guy that was somewhat passive. I don't think he knew in the beginning that because I was part of that family and we tend to be kind of ride or die and we're body. He didn't know that I was going to have the attitude that I have.
Okay.
I can pop off at any moment, but at the same time, I know that I can be passive if needed. So
nice.
Just a little bit about myself. I was originally born in Virginia. Well, actually Guam. I was born in Guam because I'm a Navy baby.
Okay.
We moved to Virginia, and I've been a Virginia brat for years up until recently. We moved to Houston, and I've been here about 9 years or so. So I guess I can say I'm a Houstonian now. And I love the weather.
I think you got a few more years on that.
Look. I can't hear y'all. Let me see. Maybe it's my mic.
So she can't hear anybody? Well, no, she heard Bryce. Empress, have you ever been affected by domestic violence or know someone that has?
No?
Muffled.
What I think it is with the sound, I think that y'all need to kind of put headphones in because I can hear it better with the headphones, but without none, it's like.
Well, I told Empress to take hers out. So,
Okay.
But she's outside. Empress,
Okay,
can you
what
hear
about
me?
now? Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes, I'm
No,
talking to
still?
Empress. Yes.
I
Can
can't
you
hear
hear
me.
us? Can you hear us?
I know, right? I don't know how else to shake my head,
I
but
can hear all
okay.
of you, but I don't know if y'all can hear me.
Yes.
I hear you fine.
Okay, cool.
My.
Mimi,
Okay.
what you saying? What you saying? Your lips smooth and what?
Poor child. I don't know what to tell you because does she have an earpiece? Somebody help Empress.
Need a lapel or something, or
I don't know what's going on.
Can you
We
hear
can hear-
anything?
can you hear us? Can you hear me?
Huh?
Can you hear me? Am I loud
Yeah.
enough?
I can hear you, Bryce. I can hear you, Bryce. Yes.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
I hear Ty. I just can't hear Mimi.
I don't know why. I'm up all the way. My thing is blinking red.
Can y'all hear me?
No.
Yeah, we can hear y'all. I can.
hear me.
I don't know why. That's interesting.
Wow.
Oh well. So let's see how we can do this. But anyway, so Bryce, how long have?
I can ask the question to her.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
To ask her.
Have both of
Okay,
them talk about their experience with domestic violence if they've had it.
Okay, Empress, she wanted you to talk about your experience with domestic violence.
Oh, okay. My domestic violence, my daughter's father, he was abusive emotionally, mentally, physically. I didn't know that he had been abused. And so, I truly learned that, hurt people hurt people.
Yes.
And that's what happened. I decided, while she was young and it hadn't really made an impression on her, although now I look back and it's totally different, I decided to pack up and leave. So the night I left, the Lord blessed me where all my paperwork I needed as far as birth certificate, driver's license, all that was at my disposal. I just packed her a little bag and we hopped the fence and walked away. I stayed away for roughly about 20 years myself.
Wow.
I introduced her back to her family when she turned 16. That's what she wanted for Christmas. So, I put her in contact with her grandparents, her siblings, all of that, and they have their own relationships now. But I allowed this person to damage me to the point where I was willing to just give it all up and get rid of him and risk the chance to raise my daughter. And I changed my mind and I realized I loved her more.
Right.
So it was in my best interest to walk away, and that's what I did. And after 21 years, I did allow him to apologize. But then I also reminded him that I was not here to be his friend. That was dead and gone and over with. That was your ability to make peace with me, and that's it. So I'm at the point now where I don't even answer 346 area code phone numbers because I don't want to answer the phone and it's him.
Wow.
Sad to say, but we can't have that type of relationship anymore because you abused. You abused my love, my body, and my trust, and I can't, in good conscience, go back to anything that gives any indication that we could ever be anything ever again because that's dead and over with. I made my peace with the Lord, and I'm good with it.
Nice.
But, walking around with, black eyes and a bloody nose and a busted lip, that's not a good look when you're raising a young black woman.
Right.
Or
You know,
man.
being talked to like you a dog, that's not good raising a young black woman. So I had to walk away.
Nice for your safety.
Well, for me, my abuse was somewhat a little different. The abuse in my family was my mom and dad of 18 years, them being together. So I would see, as a kid, it's like clockwork. We knew at a certain time of night they were going to start fighting. And
Wow.
so I remember one time where my dad pushed my mom down a flight of stairs, and
Oh my God.
I seen her bone out of her leg pop out. And my
What?
brother, I have an older brother, and every time around a certain time of night, he would just gather me up and wake me up out my sleep. And I remember it's so cute. He would pack like a little snack bag for me and a little blanket and pillow, and he'll put me on his back, and we would go to the park because it was like a park across the street, and he would, play with me. This is in the middle of the night. I didn't understand what was going on, but he was trying to take me out of the environment. And for me, it took hours until my mom and dad finished doing whatever they were doing. And now that I look back, I'm so grateful that I had a brother that paid attention to me because I was a little kid. I didn't know
Hmm.
what was going on. You know what I mean? So I'm so glad I had somebody by my side. And then
Right.
as I got older, I got sexually abused. I got molested by my grandmother's husband from the age of 8 to about 11 or 12.
Wow.
And the only reason why this man stopped molesting me, and actually I'm saying the age of 8, it could have been the age of 5 to about 11. And the only reason why he stopped molesting me was because I found him dead in the bathroom with a needle in his vein. And he was
Wow.
on heroin at that time. I didn't know that because I was a kid. And
Lord.
I'm so grateful. I know y'all always say I don't cry, but this is probably why I don't cry
Mm-hmm.
because I had to be strong because I could have lost my mind. I was just so grateful that God chose me to even go through this because He
Yeah.
knew I was going to be strong enough. But
Yeah.
this man could have gave me any kind of disease, any kind of illness. He was on heroin. You know what I mean? He could have brought anything home to me. And I'm only a 5-year-old getting molested by a man. And I didn't tell my grandmother this until on her deathbed because I don't know. I guess I just felt like I didn't want to ruin the family, and I think that's the stigma that Black people have in our families. We don't want to break the family, so we won't say anything. But as years went on, I learned that I needed to talk about it and tell somebody. So I put myself through counseling,
Nice.
and one of the things that he gave me was to write a long note and put a chair in front of me and talk to him as if he was still living and tell him how he made me feel as a 5 year
Mm.
old being molested. Or tell my dad how he made me feel when he would abuse my mom. And that worked for me, girl. I mean, it was a spiritual breakthrough.
Nice. And that's kind of like facing your accuser or attacker. And I feel like that's one of the reasons why they do that. Because I've heard about that being like one of the first steps
I
to
mean,
releasing.
I'm done, y'all, because I'll start crying. And this show is only an hour, so
No, it's needed. It's crazy because I was like before getting on here, and I know as close as the show comes, I know it's a lot of things that I haven't said about my life that I knew that was gonna like reach the surface, but I know it's a lot of other men out there that go through the same thing, but because we're men, we're not going to talk about it. But me, along with my story of being mentally and verbally, I was sexually abused too as a child too. But this is the crazy part. It was by my older cousins.
Wow.
yeah,
And
Cousins, as in plural.
same. I
plural.
went through that too.
And this is the thing, because they were my stepfather's blood nephews,
Mm-hmm.
they didn't believe me. And
Right.
mind you, this is happening. My mom met my stepdad like when I was when I was 4. So this happened all the way up until I was like, I want to say 9 or 10. And 3 years ago, I lost my eyesight in both eyes. And I was put in a position, this is where it turns into spiritual, because this is God's trying to get my attention at this point, because I was on a fast track. I was like, okay, I'm not going to let this affect me. I'm going to be Bryce and this, I'm going to be macho. I'm going to be strong and not, this is a story, mind you, this is a story that somebody needs to hear. This is somebody, you know what I mean? So it was, I remember speaking to a man of God, and he was a prophet, and he was like, you've been going through something. You've been holding on to something for years, for decades. You know what I mean? And and I remember it was Labor Day, September 3rd, 2018. And I finally let my mama and my stepdad know what was going on with me. And when I did, it came out almost like a noise. I can't even say what it was. It was pain, it was anger, it was relief, all wrapped into one. You know what I mean? When I finally said it. So that delivery, when you find that, I can only imagine, Kelly, when you wrote that note and had to speak to a chair, you know what I mean? And that emotion that came out, because that's hard, because even that's something you don't never want to get out. That's something, okay, it's going to just be between me and God. You know what I mean? I ain't going to talk about it, nothing like that. But for me to let that go, it's cliche, but it's a weight. It really is, because you're like, whew, I don't got nothing to hide no more. I'm not hiding from nothing. I can be free. I can be, open.
Bryce, eventually I told my mom. And my mom, it's just so crazy. That's why I say about the Black families, how we just need to be more open about molestation, abuse, mental issues, anything like that. Because when I told my mom, she just kind of looked at me and said, oh, that happened to you too? That happened to me as well. I mean, I guess by someone else when she was younger.
Right.
It's almost like, oh, okay, like moving on. And I'm thinking to myself, no. It's not moving on. This is where you take the time and you talk to your daughter or your son, and you just say, okay, I do understand. Is there some kind of help that's needed at this point? You know what I mean? Because you don't know either when a child gets molested or you in an abusive situation, either the child 9 times out of 10, and I thank God that I'm neither, but either you're going to be an abuser or you're going to continue the cycle of abusing. You know what I mean? Either you're going to be in a predicament where you're going to always stay in an abusive relationship, or you're going to become an abuser. And that's where it takes God to really move in your life to learn, because I have kids. I have 2 kids. But I pray to God, God, please don't let me have a baby girl. I don't want a girl. I prayed. And when he told me I had a girl, I nearly lost it, because I didn't want a baby girl, because I didn't want anything to happen to her.
The level of protection.
So I done kind of loosen the reins now, because I've been praying and I let go. Now she's 12, but at first I wouldn't leave my baby with nobody. Nobody, because I was just too scared that someone would abuse my kid.
I ain't mean to cut you off, but like, I think that's another thing. Like when you said the Black household, when a child say they need when a child is showing that they need therapy or need some kind of cope, in the Black household, it's normally like, you'll be fine, you'll be all right, you're gonna go through it, it's whatever. But let another race come in there and see their child dealing with something or whatever like that, they're going through the tens. They get in all types of counseling. They getting AA groups for 13-year-olds. You know what I mean? Like they're getting all types of support systems, is what I'm trying to say. You know what I mean? And it's like that needs to be something that's changed inside the Black household, because everybody go through it, but I feel like we go through it the most because we have this level of hush hush. It ain't nobody's business.
It's our pride. It's our pride. The Black man, especially the head of the household, his pride is on 10. He doesn't want anybody to know that the household is struggling in any kind of way. You know what I mean?
Well,
and as the woman,
we're raised.
You try to follow his footsteps and say, well, maybe we don't need to tell anybody. But no, you do. I'm so open with my kids. I sat down, I talked to my kids. Hey, this is what happened to me, because I wanted them to relate. If you need any kind of help, let me know. Whether, like with my older son, he's 23, whether if it's, you feel like you need some assistance with alcohol and drugs, or with my child, if anybody touched you in this way, I don't care if it's your dad, my mom, me, you go report this.
Yeah.
Don't feel scared. Like I
Yeah.
did. I waited years before I told anybody what was going on to me. And like I said, this man could have gave me anything because he was out in the street using dope. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Wow.
Right.
Yeah.
So, oh my God. It's just, I end up at the end of the day, a lot of the therapy that I did was, yes, I put myself through counseling, but I also joined, what's that? Child services. They have like
Mhm.
a little program where you can be a volunteer. And I end up volunteering to help like abused kids, sexually molested kids, and I would
Nice.
go and speak on their behalf in the court.
Nice.
So I
Oh,
did that
that's
for
nice.
numerous of years, and that gave me like the relief to like speak and want to tell everybody my story, because I'm really hush hush. I don't really tell anybody anything. Most
Yeah.
of the time, I just tell you the happy part. Oh yeah, I model and I do this,
Yeah.
but it's a backstory to everything.
It's
Oh
the
yeah,
road that got
absolutely.
you. Yeah.
Absolutely. Ty, you still there? I know we see
Yeah.
you. So with this happening in as an adult and to your or to you, what advice would you give to people that it is going through this? What advice would you give to them on steps to get out, how to deal
And
with
someone can
it?
hear Mimi. I don't know what she's asking.
Okay, I think I heard something about steps on how to get out. Um, it has to be at an opportune time, and you have to be safe. That is first and foremost. It has to be something that's planned out. Although if spur of the moment just happens to fall in your lap, take that opportunity and go. It's not worth your life. It's not worth your baby's lives. It's You have to move around. And I tell women that survive that there's life after survival. Your life does not stop. You have a right to reclaim your life.
Mhm.
You have a right to live after that. And that's doing whatever. You want to act, you want to model, you want to dance, you want to sing. Just get out there and do that. But, have safety precautions in place. Plan it out with somebody that you trust
Mhm.
and that will have your back, and that'll be a more successful way out for you.
Awesome. What about you, Ty? What tips do you have?
Erica took everything out of my mouth. like I touched, literally, like I touched earlier. I grew up watching that. My mom was a domestic abuse survivor, and it was hard watching her go through that. I would try to fight for her, and I have to run away from the abuser because he's chasing me around because I threw a shoe at him, or I punched him because he hit my mother because I was always scrappy.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
my mom wasn't always as strong as she is now. Now she's a fierce woman, but she wasn't then.
Nice.
And she found our way to overcome it, and it's possible because I've seen it happen firsthand with her.
Mm-hmm. Right.
It's not too late. You don't have to stay that abused person forever.
It's funny you said that, Ty, because my mom is still that. She still has that mental of being abused. Every relationship she's got in, even now, my dad is dead and gone for at least it's been almost 20 years now. But
Wow.
every relationship that she's been in have been somewhat abusive now. And they may not all been physical, but they've been mentally abused. I mean, she's been mentally abused. And I'm like, Mom, now that you're getting older, at what point do you stop and just say, I'm a strong Black woman. I don't need this. And it's like I keep encouraging her, but it's like, I don't know.
Everyone's not that strong. Everyone's not able to overcome their transgression. But they got to keep trying to push forward. They have to find that help out there. There's avenues. There's ways. There's a lot of help out there for people. They just got to want to seek it.
Yeah. I mean, because now I'm becoming the person where she wants to talk to all the time. And I had to tell her just last night, I was like, Mom, oh my God, I love you, but it's draining me.
Wow.
I'm getting
Yeah.
drained from your, you know what I mean, your experiences, and I can't at this point, I just think that you probably need someone professional to talk to,
Mm-hmm.
because I can't be all that I can be
You know what?
if I'm
But
pouring into you all the time.
Right.
but
You know what?
but black people feel like if you seek a professional, that it's something wrong with you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sure do.
I
And
got a
it's something.
question.
Uh-oh.
So for y'all, like I got a question. So it's like, because I deal with the same thing. Like my sister, she is actually going through verbally domestic, all of that situations, and um it's like when they know, if y'all ever had somebody who know that they're going through it and they know they can get out, but they still want to stay with somebody,
Yes.
and it's almost like when they call you, you're being gaslighted. That's another thing
Yes.
that people don't talk about. Is like, yeah, I want to help you, I want to help you get through this, but when do you say no?
Right.
Yeah.
When do you say no to being gaslighted and dealing with, you know you know just trying to put yourself into that situation, because it's tiring already when you've been through it, and
Yes.
you didn't pass that level. It's almost like you gotta repeat a grade. It's like, I gotta go through this again, I gotta take
Yep.
this class again, I gotta go through this again. And it's like, you don't want to say no to family. That's the
Yeah.
first
True.
thing, especially when you know how common it is around, and something like this can take you out. Something like this can take you out and you'll be done. It's easy to quit. It's
Mm-hmm.
easy to quit, but like Ty say, some people don't have that, that grit to, it's, you have it or you don't. But I just want to ask y'all a question: if y'all ever been through that, how do you deal with a situation when you feel like you're being gaslighted?
I've been through that situation. I was involved in a 3-year relationship with someone who's a narcissist,
Wow.
and they're known for gaslighting.
Mhm.
But thankfully, I am who I am, and I was able to knock that out of there and not continue to be in that particular relationship. But everybody, like I said, is not that strong.
Mhm.
Actually, I feel like I should have been out of that relationship sooner than I was, even as strong as I am. It happens to the best of us.
Yeah,
does.
you know what? It made me think, now that you're saying that, Ty, in the play where it said something about, I didn't know that was a part of abuse when you stayed in a relationship longer than what you needed to. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't even know that was like a form of abuse to yourself.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I think for me, or for just all of us, we've all done stayed in a relationship or somewhere where we didn't need to be there as long as we needed to be, because we just
Absolutely.
wanted to help and we just wanted it to change. And everybody say, "Oh, I'm that ride or die," but no, sometimes you don't need to be no ride or die, because you got to think of you first. You got to
Yep.
love you enough first. And
Mhm.
then once I love me enough, then I can come back around and help you. And that's with mama, daddy, brother, sister. Just because you my family, that don't mean that I have to suffer with you.
Right.
So
You know
Right.
what I
true.
Right.
mean?
Right. 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 Right.
Oh,
Right.
So
Right.
and
true.
gaslighting can come from anybody.
Yeah.
Cause
So true.
his whole mama gave me a whole speech about, how could you do this to my son? You couldn't possibly love my son if you're doing all of this. I'm like, apparently you don't care nothing about me or your granddaughter if you think I'ma stick around and get beat down
Yeah.
because I supposedly love him. And I mean, and it was, now that I think back on it, I probably shouldn't have said it because she was abused as well.
Yes.
But before I could think, I was like, I said, I'm not you. I'm not gonna be with him 20 plus years getting beat down behind no retirement check. I'm sorry. I love my child.
Mhm.
And I
And
allowed your child to push me to the point where I didn't want him to exist on this earth anymore. I
Wow.
said,
And that's
so
crucial.
it could be anything. I could be quiet all day. It would take one something to set him off, and then there we go.
yeah.
Wow.
So,
Wow. And
and
so,
it got to the point where after so many times, I got to the point where I got to raise my baby and I got to take care of me. I can't do this anymore. So basically, each lick, the love just got less and less. And it just got to the point where I just didn't care, period, anymore. And that was all about me and saving my baby. That was it.
Huh.
nice. And
And
so
and
we
that's
have
crazy
in the
because
show.
with me, my mom, after we got out the abusive situation with my dad, now the abuse started with me. Anything I did, I was, mind you, I'm a little kid. and I'm already going through the molestation that I'm not telling anybody. But then now I'm at home with my mom. I can be in the middle of the floor playing with Barbie dolls. And because some man, see, everything is triggered. And most of the time it was triggered by a man because that's what she was used to. So if he pissed her off, then now here comes Kelly, and I'm getting an iron thrown at me or a extension cord, and I'm not talking about the regular whoopings we give our kids these days. I'm talking about an actual whole hot iron. You know what I mean?
Wow.
So for me, it took a lot. It was many of times where I would sit in the closet, and even my mom would laugh at me. You still playing with Barbie dolls? And I was like 15 or 16. And I think now that I look back, y'all, it was because my childhood was taken from me so young.
Yeah.
And so she would get mad about that. You're 16. Why are you still playing with Barbie? Something's wrong with you. And yeah, something was wrong with me. I was getting molested. I was getting abused by her. I done seen abuse from my mom and my dad. And now you're abusing me. So it took a lot. Like, I know in the play when we rehearsing, everybody say, "Oh, your mom, can you get the feel?" Yes, we just started rekindling like our relationship, and that's because of me. Because I just said, Lord, remove that. I want to be closer with my mom. I want to learn how to love her because she didn't know any better. You know what I mean? I can't blame that on her because she didn't know. This is a generational curse. In my family, everybody's light skinned and nobody's probably past my color for the most part, besides my mom. And my mom would get mad at me and hit me with brooms. Oh, because you think you're lighter than me? Da 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 da.
Wow.
And I would get hit with a broom for no apparent reason because I was light skinned or lighter than her, rather. Wow. So yeah, it takes a lot, and that's why I just thank God every single day.
Nice.
I am stronger than what I look like, for sure.
That's awesome. Jennifer, can you hear us?
The lovely Jennifer.
I know, right?
Dr. Jennifer.
Dr. Jennifer Gilbert, ladies and gentlemen, for those who didn't know.
Okay, get it together. Hey, girl, hey.
I'm so sorry I'm
our
late.
fearless leader.
I'm so sorry I'm late. Pardon my voice. I am actually came in from DC last night. I'm in Austin today. I'll be in Killeen tomorrow. I know that you all represented well because you're a part of the cast. And not only that, but because I know that the people that are assigned to this production are assigned to the kingdom in many different levels. And so I want to thank Miss Mimi and Bryce and Ty. I don't got my glasses on, y'all. Bryce and Ty and Sage. I think I called her Sage. Kelly. Sorry. And I saw Erica on here. But I want to thank you guys for representing the show. It's going to be amazing. Even where I am now, I just left out of a room filled with men and women who have survived domestic violence. And so they are excited about the production. And so I just want to say thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for, being strong and writing a story like this.
That's it.
Most people, most directors, they write a story and want just the approval and just want the claps and, oh, that was deep, without actually going through day by day what we go through behind the scenes. It's like I told one of the other actors, that we're no longer actors and directors, we're ministers. You know what I mean? So that I want to thank you for being strong, because I know if we get attacked down here, for the kingdom of God, I know that you are too. So I just thank you, and I ask that God keep his protection over you wherever you are right now, being a star on tour.
That's right.
I'll tell you what, when I get to this hotel and I get to my bed, It's gonna be on.
Come on now, come on, somebody.
Come on,
My
pillow.
phone is already on Do Not Disturb, so I don't forget to put it on Do Not Disturb when I get to my phone. Okay, because I am exhausted. I flew out yesterday right after work. Preached last night. Got on a red eye this morning. Came here to where am I? Austin. Yeah, Austin. And then when we leave here, where we going? When we leave here, we're going to Killeen. So I have people that gotta help me out because y'all know what? Y'all know how when you be on you see on TV when them people be like Chicago and they be in Louisiana. How about your girl did that last night? I was like, come on, Houston. And they was like, Houston. I was like, I'm here on by way of Houston. I had to make a, comeback.
Improv.
Like,
Come on.
I was like, y'all know I'm a comedian. Don't pay no mind. I was like, I felt that small. But they was like, she just needs some rest, y'all. Just give up.
That's it, Lord, Father.
I was like, yeah, that's never happened, and I pray it never happens again.
Okay.
But now I have notes to tell me exactly where I am, so I can know what to say.
Sticky notes. So, Jay, can you hear me?
But anyways, I have to get back in here, so I love you guys, and you guys keep up. Unless y'all have something to say to me. No?
Yes.
You do? Okay, go ahead, Mimi.
Yes. Can you hear me?
You're on mute, Mimi.
I'm not on mute.
You're not on mute? Well,
Nope.
I can't hear you.
Okay, Bryce.
Can somebody translate her silent tone?
I will.
Tell her to tell us why she decided to put these stories out, especially from men and some of the things that she's had to deal with.
Can you tell us why you decided to put these stories out for men and, your inspiration behind all of this?
So, as many know, I have been a domestic violence advocate for years. And I really got tired of seeing the stories about women being beat up all the time. And it always made us look like we were forever the victims and never the perpetrator. And so in my work over the years, I have noticed that there's been an increase of domestic violence against men. And so I wanted to not only make it known, but make it known. And when I say not make it known, but make it known, I'm saying I did not want to put a fictitious twist to it. So when God gave me the vision to reach out to men across the world to literally get their story, it took the fiction out of it and it made it real. And I turned their stories, even though we got hundreds and hundreds of stories, I had to stop because it started to mess with my psyche. And so from there, we turned it into art. And then the next task was to find actors who could actually portray the story and do it justice. And yeah, there are actors all over everywhere, especially in Houston. But, I really had to pray that God sent me the right fit. So that when these survivors come to see their story, they see it in the reality of what it is. And then not only that, but it's like an immediate response of my story, bless that person, and they can see it without them having to say it and without them having to relive it.
Nice. And where can they get tickets? Tell her.
And where can they get tickets again?
They can go to jgilbertministries.com and get tickets. You can also go to eventbrite.com. For some reason, Eventbrite is doing something funny where you can't pick the day or you can't pick I don't know. But if you go to jgilbertministries.com, Golden Girls tickets, you can choose which day you want to come. And then you can also see any cast member, excuse me, and they too will have tickets as well.
Listen, if y'all want to buy tickets, put my name at the end of it so I can get credit for these tickets. That's what we not saying. We trying to play. Listen, y'all. Listen, put my name, Bryce, IBRYCEIVAN.
You play too much. Team play too much.
Yeah.
How about that?
Team do too much.
How about that?
Crazy.
But yeah, okay, awesome. So we are actually toward the end of the show. Ty, you want to tell people where they can find you and or book you?
You you can find me at Ty Rogers on Facebook. You can also find me on Instagram at BK Diva. You can also find me at the nearest theater.
That part.
Talk about it.
On stage, handling up.
Yeah. Book.
It's that way.
Book.
Okay, please come with ducats. Period. Don't play. Please come with your money ready. Okay.
Right.
Kelly, tell us where they can find you. She can't hear me.
Kelly.
I can't hear her.
Oh, okay. Where can they find you?
You can find me on Instagram at KMG, like Kelly Marie Green, KMG 1324. And you can find me on Facebook at Kelly Green, KELLEE, in the color green.
Okay.
And you can find me at the Golden Girls Play.
Hey.
Come on down.
Bryce, talk to us.
All right. So, pretty simple. Y'all can find me on Facebook and on Instagram at Bryce Ivan, BRYCEIVAN. I'm also on IMBD.
Okay.
Y'all can get me on Twitter. Y'all can get me on YouTube. Y'all can get me on TikTok at all the same thing, Bryce Ivan. Y'all can also special appearance. Y'all can also catch me October 21st and the 22nd at 7 o'clock at Midtown Art Center. That's going to be 3414 LeBranch Street. And on Sunday at 5 o'clock at 3414 LeBranch Street at Midtown Art Center. Y'all, I'm trying to tell y'all, not just because I'm in it, but y'all don't want to miss this. This play
at all.
This play is not like the other ones y'all think y'all seen.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of people in Houston. There's a lot of directors that like to do the same story and a lack of content. This right here, this gonna give you what you need. I'm trying to tell you, this is the water this is purified. You feel what I'm saying? And everything. Tell them, talk about it. Tell them, let them know.
It's food for the soul.
Food for the soul. Come on now, and soul food.
Yeah,
food for the soul.
I'm trying to tell you, and when I tell you,
and speaking from someone who has been in other plays that have been directed, written, and produced by Dr. Jennifer Gilbert.
Yeah.
She always got the full rank, don't she? I don't. This ain't my first one.
It's old. It's recent. What you mean? Yeah.
I'm not a newbie, honey.
I love her.
Kelly, go ahead.
I love all of y'all.
We love you too.
And we love you too, boo.
Okay, Kelly. Kelly, tell Kelly to finish up what she was doing.
Kelly, what were you saying?
Oh, child, I don't know.
Okay, so while she getting herself together, I had told her to at the end of the show I always give what I call a love note, and it's just basically to give people a thought to ponder, 2 cents, to something to think about for the next week. So I had told Kelly, I messaged her and said, you do that, and then I was going to let you guys go because I know y'all can hear me and she can't. So give a little love note to the people. Ty, you go first. Come on with it.
What exactly you want me to
Advice of any kind. How to be a strong black woman, keep your head up, something.
Never let someone tell you that you are less than. You know what purpose God has for you, and you need to embrace that and uplift yourself always. Never let someone tear you down. Ever, 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 ever. And always remember that it's nice to be important, but it's more important to be nice.
Mm-hmm. Nice. I like that one. Bryce, tell Kelly so she can so I know she can hear me.
Kelly, you got a note for the people out there in TV land. A little love note.
I would just say, number one rule is just love yourself first. Mm-hmm. Once you learn how to love yourself, then you can love everyone else.
That's so true. Oh Lord.
She ain't came back and try to see what we was talking
All
about.
the noise. All the noise.
You know she got to check on us like our mama.
Because she is.
I've been watching y'all in rehearsals.
There she go again.
So, Jennifer.
She probably heard you, Bryce.
Okay.
Jennifer.
She got those mama ears. She heard you.
You know it.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll get back to her again. Bryce, come on with it. Give us a love note so we can get up out of here.
Never let somebody tell you who you are. For the actors and artists, dancers, singers, rappers, entertainers out there, it's okay to take a break. That's another thing. When you're booked and it's cool to be booked and everything like that, it's okay to take a break, a mental break. Who is so many I want to touch on. Piggyback off on what Killian Ty said, love yourself, because that's the biggest thing, because you can't minister and take care of yourself, health, mental, whatever, because you can't help nobody else if you're not well.
If you're not whole,
If you're not whole, you know what I mean? Like, and then again, focus on yourself too. You know what I mean? Focus on yourself, because you don't want to give everybody all of you and you're left empty or you're left dark and the same thing. You know what I mean? Everything is God's timing. I don't know who need to hear this, but I'm talking to myself at this point. Everything is God's timing. Just because you're not where you think you should be right now, that don't mean that you're not going to make it there. You're exactly put in the position, in the place, and the time right now where you're supposed to be, that God ordained you to be. Just because you're not selling out Madison Square Garden and the Staples Centers and the Toyota Centers and NRG or wherever you're at right now, doesn't mean that you're not going to make it to that point. God has already ordained your steps. He's a light unto your feet and a lamp unto your path. I don't know if I said that wrong. I'm being like Gina now, quoting the Bible loosely. But
what we gonna do is, no, I'm just kidding.
But no, but in this position that you're at right now, you're not too late. It's not too late. Whatever you thinking of right now, like, I want to be this and I want to be that. I want to be a doctor and I'm 50 years old. It's not too late. Don't let nobody tell you it's too late to do anything, because there's a lot of people. Cicely Tyson didn't get her first role until I think she was like
in her 60s or 70s, I believe.
Right. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, just because you're not where you're at right now doesn't mean that you're not going to get there.
Yeah, I'm gonna piggyback on
Right,
that because
never
Morgan.
let somebody.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, to piggyback on what he said, that it's true what you're saying. Never let society give you a timeline on success. There is no timeline, ever.
On anything. On anything. Because society will have you going back and forth, and I learned that when I was in my 30s, you know, trying to keep up with society, do this, do that. You're supposed to have this, supposed to have that, and then it went from that to something else, and then back and forth, and back and forth. And before you knew it, I was like, you know what, I feel kind of crazy.
Wait a minute, hold on. When you was in your 30s, I thought you was in your 30s.
No. 30
she
plus.
She said she's sitting over there on a good 25. Look at her over there.
Nah, child. Thank you, though. But nah, I'll be 25 plus 25 in March. So, you know.
Oh, wow.
Thank you, Lord, for, you know, good skin and the homemade remedy that my mom had me do when I was growing up. But we'll talk about that on another show, because that ain't out in stores. But it's not. But seriously, you know what you were saying, Pastor Deacon Bryce, minister.
Oh, no.
Did I leave out one?
Reverend.
Reverend, you know, Bishop. That's the one, Bishop. But what I was thinking was, and one of my favorites is Morgan Freeman didn't even start acting until he was, you know, 60. I think he was 72 or something. Yeah, he was later in life, you know. So it is never too late for you to do whatever it is you thought, any of those dreams that were deferred. It's never too late. Look at the lady in Wakanda. She was 90 in her 90s.
Yeah,
Come on, y'all. So it didn't have to be modeling. It didn't have to be acting. It didn't have to be, you know, those things. You could still do whatever dreams it was that you had from before. As long as God has given you breath, you still have time to get them done. So make sure you do that. And then also, like everyone said, part of self-love, and I feel like self-love has kind of, it came and it's now kind of like a cliche, but realize and truly understand all the aspects of self-love. Self-love involves loving you enough to get up and do what you need to do for you in all aspects. In all aspects. In all aspects. Not just going to get a massage, not just going to get a mani-pedi, it's in all aspects. If you need to retrain yourself to think differently than what you were thinking before, feed yourself those things. Find out what it is. Get in my old pastor used to say, get involved in a church, a Bible-based church. Well, let me take that and put it in layman terms. Get involved with people who are already where you want to be. If they're already healed, if they're already doing positive things, and if they're already doing something that you want to do, get involved with them and see, how are you doing that? How did you get started? Because like Bryce, somebody said, everybody has a story. Everybody has a background, and nobody came out the womb that way. Nobody. It can be done. Mm-hmm. That's my 2 cents. I ain't trying to keep y'all forever. It is time to get up out this piece. Thank you so much for coming through, everybody, and sharing your stories. Y'all, look, because I didn't know. I didn't even know it was like that. So I am glad that you guys came through and shared your life stories, because my prayer is always that when you share your story, it will unlock and unleash someone else. That is always my prayer. So thank you so much for being strong enough to share, being strong enough to shed those tears or to release. Right. Mm-hmm. Until next time, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. Mwah.
Thank you. Bye. See you guys.
This is a Jeffrey T. production.